welcome to the Taboo podcast. This is my really good friend Moon. He's gonna
Yeah.
be hanging out and talking with me today. Um, and then we have Brian Sane later, who's a professional piercer and also does piercing suspension. So lots of cool, fun things today. Really excited about this episode.
Yay.
Um, So to get on the ball for current events, well, damn, this one just fell in my lap today. Eddie Van Halen of Van Halen died today at age 65 from throat cancer.
Mm, Rest in peace.
Yeah, dude had well, Van Halen had 12 albums across like 5 fucking decades, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot. Definitely a pivotal part of rock and roll.
Yeah, I apparently like the fucking cancer like spread into his brain and like a lot of internal organs.
Oh my God.
So I think
That
it's kind
sounds
of
terrible.
a mercy after 10 years of struggling with
Yeah.
it.
No, that sounds terrible. I can't imagine going through something like that. My mother works in oncology and has to see her patients die like that. It's such a terrible way to to go. But
I mean, moral of the story, don't keep metal guitar picks in your mouth.
yeah.
That's
Jeez.
that's what they think caused it.
Really?
Mhm.
That's wild. Wait, don't most people use plastic picks now?
Yeah, but in the 70s,
Yeah, I
I
guess.
think metal picks were more common. And maybe it
That makes
had
sense.
like lead in it or something. I'm not exactly sure.
People be putting lead in everything back then.
Yeah. But so yeah, I'd, I'd say let's take a shot and have a moment of silence for Eddie Van Halen, but I am trying not to drink right now.
I'll take an emotional shot. The thought that
Take
counts,
a
right?
shot of Coca-Cola. There we go.
Oh
But so the theme of the show today is pretty much like body modification, piercing, things like that. And I do know that you just got your ears done.
I did. I have them pointed for everyone who's on video chat. I'm really happy with them. I think they're beautiful.
Oh yeah.
They're definitely something that I've wanted for a very long time. And I decided, even though 2020 was a major shit show, has been a major shit show, um, I I at least wanted to do something for myself. So I decided to get the ball rolling, and I contacted a body modification artist that had interactions with over email for about a year and a half, and in July I had contacted him and was curious if he was like his operation was up again after quarantine, and I think I was actually um, his first appointment in August. It was the first appointment since quarantine. So I just took the opportunity as soon as I could get in. I took the opportunity, and it was a really good experience. The guy had a really great bedside manner and whatnot. It's
What did
really
it
nice, dude.
what did it feel like having that um
So sorry.
you basically underwent a surgery for that. That's not like a
Yeah,
simple body
yeah,
modification.
right. So it's as someone that like I have multiple piercings and tattoos, and um, so I'm not a stranger to body modifications, but I'm used to being able to like feel them. Like I'm used to being able to feel the pain of a body modification. Um, but when you get something like this done, they numb your ear and so you can't feel it, which is great. Obviously, you wouldn't want to with something like this, um, but because I couldn't feel it, and I could only hear like the scraping of the cartilage and whatnot, and the tugging of the stitches. It really messed with me. I have an anxiety disorder, so like not being able to, I guess not being able to like rationalize what was happening, I kind of freaked out. But he was like really nice about it. I was like, I'm so sorry. I have an anxiety disorder, and I'm kind of panicking right now, and I'm trying not to go into full panic attack. So I would like try to do certain things that I knew could like ground me or like kind of like rationalize. Like I would try to like pinch myself or uh, certain things just to help me kind of like calm myself down. But he actually like talked to me the entire time and was like asking me about myself and like what I do, what kind of music I like, and he was talking about himself too. So he was like really nice and like very understanding.
How long did it take to was it one session or was it multiple?
It was two, so he did one ear one day and one ear the next day. It was about 3 hours per session.
Wow, I didn't realize it
Um,
was that long.
yeah, it was a long time.
So it's
But that I also didn't realize exactly how like complicated it was. I knew everything that was involved in it, but I didn't really know how like complicated it really was.
so essentially they just he took a piece of your ear out and then sewed it together.
Yeah, okay, so what happened what happens was there's I think there's different methods of doing it, but how he did it was at the top of the helix right up here. Um he cut a coin slot so like it wasn't completely detached, like the helix wasn't completely detached from my ear, and then scraped some of the cartilage out from the top there, and then did used internal sutures, and then also like sewed it together so it was flat, and then on the side, on the outer helix, he did a superficial cut, more of a superficial cut, and I guess took away some of my ear, obviously, and then took that like flap there and folded it in, and then sutured it up with internal and external sutures, and then sewed the tip together. So it was like it's like a three-part thing,
All right.
and it was it was a lot, honestly. It was so much.
So what have you like have you had any like weird experiences since you've had your ears done like with because you work in
um,
customer service or just like being around
right.
people?
Most people think it's really great. I've had people. I mean, I don't think I've had any negative interactions, honestly. Um, um, a lot of people actually don't notice it until they like, I guess, look at me longer. But I did, I don't know. I
You're
just feel
like
like,
the glance and then the
I first,
look back like
yeah. I guess I don't know. For some reason, I can get away with stuff like that. I guess. But I had this guy look at me, and he's like, it was a customer of mine. And I was serving this table, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Is your other ear just as pointy as that one?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, he was like, "Did you do that on purpose?" And I was like, "No, yeah, I did." Like, he was like, "I was just asking because I have tattoos and stuff." I'm like, "Okay." And like that was like the extent of that interaction, and I was just like, I'm gonna go now."
no, I just pointed one ear. It's
Right. I've had people ask if it's like if my ears are naturally like this, because I do know people who have ears that are naturally pointed, not like as pointed as this, but I've had several people ask me that. Obviously, no, it's not natural. It costs money.
yeah. It,
But I'm so happy with them.
do you have any
Very
advice you give to somebody who might be interested in having that kind of body modification done and um
Yeah, I actually would definitely suggest. I when I found out about the body modification and the process, it was about 3 years ago. Um, and I would say do some research on people, body modification artists who know how to do it, and how long they've been doing it. follow their Instagrams, have conversations with them. Um, I was really glad that I waited like a year and a half, even from first contacting my body modification artist. And it's just like take the time to understand that this is a completely irreversible process. I definitely do not regret it at all. I think it's amazing. I'm so happy with them, but like it's not like a tattoo or a piercing where like, oh, you'll just like, you could get it laser removed, or like you can just take a piercing out or get it covered up or something. It's something that's 100% irreversible. Um, and it's also not for the faint of heart, like I was describing before. I know that a lot of people, the concept of like hearing like scraping and like the removal of like tissue and stuff is like kind of because you're awake the entire time, obviously, but you got to do your research, understand what you're getting into. Like you have to 100% make like be sure that you want it. But other than
Yeah.
that, like I think it's amazing. I think it's a very cute, pretty, lovely type of body
Mm,
modification.
all
It
right.
makes me
Well,
feel magical.
let's keep the ball rolling. And finally let Brian out of the cage. But before we do that, I just want to let you know, because I know you can't see Discord because you're using your phone for this. You're getting a lot of compliments on your eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
That
I did that myself.
all right. We're gonna cut to break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with our honored guest here, Brian Sane, who's a professional piercer. He's had some experience with body modification and that whole industry, and also does piercing suspension. Um, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Back. So everybody, this is Brian Sane, our interview of the week. Um, Brian, welcome to my podcast.
How you doing?
Hi,
All
Brian.
right, despite the plague.
The plague? Never heard of
Oh man, are you in for a
Like,
treat?
it.
So, I mean, to kick off, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, my name's Brian, and I'm a professional piercer. I do body suspension and fun stuff. Make holes and shit.
And people pay you to poke holes in them. It's a
Yeah.
great way to go about life.
well, I have.
How did you initially get started in the whole poking holes game?
I mean, I decided that I wanted to do it. Actually, one of my favorite movies growing up was a movie called Strangeline. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah, I think that might be just about every piercer's start is watching that movie and deciding I want to do that to people, you know. And for a while, I went to EMT school, so I did that whole thing. I was the EMT for like a few years, and then I finally got into made friends with some piercers and tattoo artists who are willing to teach me. And I worked overnight as an EMT, and I went to the shop during the day,
That
so I didn't sleep for a year and a half or so.
Oh my gosh,
that had to
that
be
sounds
rough as
really
fuck.
tough.
Yeah, you do what you got to do.
Um, so sorry, I just my mind for the
You're doing great.
brain to
You were
mouth.
talking about Van Halen.
Yeah, no, I was not, but uh, so how did how do you think like piercings and other body mods have become like such a taboo in recent history? Because like the practice of body modification is like been around since ancient history, but in like a lot of first world countries you know, it's hard to get a job or keep a job if you have like piercings and tattoos and um metal hanging off your face, and especially the pointed ears and the split tongues and stuff like that. That's really uncommon.
Well, I mean, you got the old job stoppers right here, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty. It's actually getting more and more accepted. I'd say, you know. Back in the day, it was really, really tied to a lot of fuckery and shit that you probably didn't want to be a part of if you were like a straight laced kind of person. But I mean, over the years, it's more and more accepted. You know, we're tattooing and piercing everybody, and you know, with the all the nice new jewelry. Well, it's not new; it's been around forever, but it's just becoming more and more popular. You know, all the gold and the real fancy looking stuff. You could put that in somebody. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And it looks a lot better than going to Hot Topic and buying some garbage off their rack and putting that
We
in
all
your
gotta
face.
start somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'd say it's over the years, it's becoming more and more accepted and becoming less taboo, which,
You think one day we're
you know,
gonna walk around in a world where like people, like almost everybody has like a different kind of like body mod that like sets them different and apart?
I don't know, maybe we're probably more likely to have chips in our body.
Oh God.
I've actually met this guy who he only has one tattoo and it's on his forearm, which is a very popular place to get your first tattoo. But he was saying, he's like, oh, I want to get it removed. And I was like, oh, why? Like, you got it in the first place. Why do you want to get it removed? And he's like, well, everybody has tattoos now. I want to be one of those people without tattoos. And I'm just like, what? What? Sir, can you sort out your priorities? Like,
Or someone did not
I
get
think
the
that's the most
concept of
ridiculous thing.
this is permanent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, so like for me, and I know for both of y'all, like body modifications is a way of like expressing myself. Like it makes me, the more tattoos I get or like the hair color or whatever, it makes me feel like the all who I am on the inside is being able to be displayed on the outside, and like I like being a canvas for um, tattoo artists' work, and I feel kind of honored to have their art on my body. I don't, not kind of, I actually do. I do feel honored to have their art on my body. Um, I just like, but like the concept of like, oh, I want to do this because it's cool, or like, I want to do this to like, I don't know. I feel like people need to like realize why they're doing something, you know, especially if it's permanent.
I mean, yeah, I mean, not always, but yeah.
I mean,
um, I don't think well, I mean, it's not just that. You know, you could be using it to. I mean, I couldn't tell you what any of my tattoos mean, or they don't have any
oh yeah,
meaning at all.
no.
But I can tell you where I was at life when it happened. You know, I
Oh
could
yeah,
tell you. You know, there's always a fun story behind them. So, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's different for everyone. So,
Everyone's
yeah.
a bit different, body mods and stuff, but it's still, I get what you're saying. It's still an act of like permanence, and like that should probably be respected. I know some piercings you can take out, but there's still going to be a little bit of scarring in most cases, I believe. I
yeah.
don't have piercings because I take them out in my sleep. It's great. So
Well, you take them out in your sleep, or they fall out.
no, I take them out. Like I get uncomfortable,
Oh,
and like I'll just like wake up in the morning, and I'll have like the ball and the jewelry in my hand like
huh.
clenched so I don't lose it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll wake up out of a dead sleep and just be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm done." And it's irritating the piss out of me. Take it out.
The most I ever do is just go to the bathroom in my bed, though.
Oh God. So so you also do piercing
Not while I'm in it.
simulation.
I stand outside of the bed.
God damn it.
I'm changing the topic now, Brian.
Are you? Are you sure about
Yeah,
that?
I'm
I mean,
trying.
we could continue talking about your.
We could talk about piss in the bed.
No, that's cool. I'm good on that. I do not need that mental picture. And you can go make me
Too
give
late, you already got it.
your girlfriend a hug.
I'm so sorry.
You also
He likes it.
do
It's cool.
you do the you
She
do
thinks she's sweating in her sleep, but really I'm just peeing on her in the middle of the night. That's what's happening.
I hate you so much.
yeah, so do I. Jeez.
What were you
Oh,
talking about?
okay. I was trying to ask you about the doing the piercing suspension, and I have freaked out many of the people who are watching this right now with stories about you hanging my partner up. Um, what's all involved? I know I have asked you a lot of these questions about suspension before because I find it fascinating, but we're gonna pretend I have amnesia. How did you get started? How did you evolve from like a regular piercer into doing something like piercing suspension?
Well, actually, when I first started piercing, I went to a tattoo convention in Philly, and I saw them doing it. And they did a show each night, and by Sunday, I was just like, I need to be a part of this in however I can. So I just went up to them and started talking to them, um, and just made friends with them, And they were a group from New York. They were called Disgraceland Hook Squad, and then I just started going up to New York a couple times a month. Every time they would have a show, they would call me, and I would go up. And it was 13 years ago, and eventually I moved up to New York and ended up running things after a while. After enough people moved on or moved away or passed away, uh, and then that was it.
What do you look for in like candidates to do the suspension shows with? Um,
To do an actual show or just to suspend.
um, I guess both. Maybe somebody who would want to suspend should keep in mind like a newbie, and then maybe more of the like showmanship type stuff we'll get into later.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody can do it. Anybody can suspend. If you've been thinking about it, do it. That's all I got to say about it. Just do it. I'm not going to tell you a reason to, or you'll find that on your own. But yeah, if you were thinking of something that's intrigued you, or think that maybe you could do it, or maybe it's a challenge, or whatever the reason is, contact someone in your area. Talk to them. And the same thing that you were talking about earlier, Moon, about research them, look at their Instagram, talk to them, figure out do they know what they're doing?
Yeah,
You know, So
something like that.
yeah, and just do it. That's all. And as far as putting on shows go, that's a little bit different of a level. That's once you're involved in that, you figure out real quickly like who can, who's a performer at heart, who's not, and you go from there.
Yeah. I'm expecting it would also include like somebody's pain tolerance and the amount of time that they could stand being up on hooks for a show. Because I imagine you don't want somebody who's just like going up and then like 10 minutes later wants to come back down. Like,
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's for a shows. You're kind of you're in control. You go up when you want, you come down when you want, but at the same time, you're also a little bit not in control because it's a show, and most people can handle it. It's. There are times though when like we had this show up in New York. We used to do a haunted house every year, and our thing was we would wait outside during in the lines, and we would do suspension, and we would do sideshow, all kinds of gnarly shit for people who were waiting in line. And we'd have guys, we they'd be they'd be hanging for 4 hours. So
That's a
that
lot.
took
damn,
that takes a special certain somebody, but
that is wow. I commend whoever can do that shit. um, uh, you guys, have you heard or seen any like um like bad examples of what could happen if you like went to somebody who didn't know what they were doing or were like faking it along, like rip outs
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, well, people ripping through hooks, that happens. People accidents happen. That's where the knowledge comes in. And 13 years ago, when I started this, there was accidents happening all the time, and because of that, you learn from that. There's whole events now that some of them are still going on, some of them are new, some of them had ended. But we would go out once or twice a year and just go to these events. We'd all get together, we'd talk about things, we'd learn from our experiences. We would have people, actual riggers, and people that had they're in charge of concert rigging and all that stuff, go over what all the equipment, and what could we possibly use that's going to be better. When something broke or something bad happened, we figured out why real quick. And there's a lot of groups now that that know what they're doing, and there's some still that don't.
is there ever like a chance, and I guess this would depend on like the kind of um like the number of hooks that you have in somebody, but could it rip out like be like dangerous for somebody, like in case of like bleeding out or having
Well,
like a
not
major
bleeding.
injury?
Those are all minimized nowadays. If it's a situation where you're up high enough, or let's say you're upside down, you got a harness on. You're protected. So if something were to happen, you have a safety. You're not going to hit the ground.
Okay. Have you
That's good to
have you
know.
ever had somebody pass out from going up before?
But yeah, it happens. Every once in a while it happens. I have more people pass out from, when we pierce them than anything. Just normal nostril piercing than hook suspension. I mean, if you're doing hook suspension, there's a pretty good chance you're a little bit fucked up as it is. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, you can deal with that shit.
I've gotten pierced probably 30 times in my life or more, and I still look at suspension and I'm like, whew, I don't know about that. I
Same.
think
One day.
it's really impressive. I think it's amazing, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to look. Okay, but I do. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, I mean,
I
dealing with pain is not something that you just, it takes some practice. Of
Yeah.
course, like you get pierced, and you get better at dealing with pain. It's like you're not gonna strap on a pair of Nikes that run fucking 500 miles. You got to start with a
Right.
mile.
well, like I saw Strangeland as a teenager, and I was like all about the suspension at the end of the movie.
That was such a bad movie. It's so
It
awful, but
is,
it's so good.
Now I
but
want to
it's
watch
such a
it.
great introduction in the body
You never seen
mod.
that movie?
I've never seen it
No.
now.
I'm
Watch
about
it
that
tonight.
cherry one day.
Watch party.
Ma'am.
Yeah. But I remember as a teenager being really into it. Like I was like obsessed with body mods, all different kinds of tattoos, etc., etc. But I remember finally I went to the Philly Tattoo Convention as well, and seeing people do the suspension. And one of the performers and I had been talking previously, so I went. She like invited me back there, like while they were doing the piercing, and I took one look at these like meat hooks, and I'm like, nope, that is not
Not for me.
happening to me anytime soon. I'm gonna have to like get there. 10 years later, I'm still not there.
You're like, yes, but no. But
Yes,
yes,
but
but
no.
no.
Yeah, all about it. No, I'm probably still shy, a little needle shy about that. Um, so I got notes.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I got notes that I think I
What
pretty
you
much.
looking
You
at
have
there?
to read it. What you
uh,
got going on?
Yeah, that's not helping me. Um, So, Brian, you got like any cool stories or you know, tales of like the
Dramatic stories.
body mod world and did you ever like experiment with anything outside of like piercing and piercing suspension?
Briefly, yeah, briefly. I did back before I moved to New York and a little bit while I was in New York. I did other stuff, did scarification, cutting and doing designs like that. I've helped out implanting a few magnets and with a few tongue splits, but it there wasn't enough for me to actually you know, keep it up. So I just started at a certain point. I just started. Actually, I just would refer everyone to Brian. Everyone who asked, I would just go to Decker. He'll take care of you. It felt like something I wanted to do at one point, but after a while, I felt so out of practice that I didn't feel. I felt like there was better people out there for that.
No doubt. How do you feel like cuz I know in our state there's a lot of not even like laws about it. I know when you get into major cities like Philadelphia, it's pretty much illegal to do body modifications. But I'm not sure on I'm not very well versed on that anymore since I'm not a tattoo artist anymore. But how do you feel about like some of the laws or the fact that there aren't laws in a lot of especially here in Pennsylvania for things like that?
Well, I mean, that's when I was moving out of New York. That's part of the reason why I came to PA. Because there's no laws out here.
You're like,
It's
I can do
crazy.
whatever I want.
It's do whatever the fuck you want out here.
Yeah.
But no, at that point, I've been piercing for 10 years, and I'm moving. I'm moving out of New York, which is pretty regulated. And I've been doing it so long that I could go to Maryland or Delaware or Pennsylvania or any of those areas, and I, to be honest, I just didn't feel like going through all the hoops that you have to jump through to get your certifications. And I was like, I've been doing this too fucking long. Just stop, you know. So, I mean, other than you keep up with your continuing education classes, and there's like the bloodborne pathogens and all that shit. But other than that, like it just felt like I just is not. Come on, I've been doing it 13 years. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of fair. Which is kind of like when you go to a state that doesn't have any, then you lose the thing of like, well, like, could they make it like that certifications could be kind of like when you switch out your driver's license in another state? But like, doesn't not having laws here mean any idiot can fucking buy some shit off of eBay and try to pierce somebody or
Absolutely. I mean, you could go to
I've done it to myself.
there's there's stores up in New York City where you could go to and buy shit to do it yourself. That doesn't stop anybody. But I mean, that also means that if you know what the fuck you're doing and you do a good job, that you could really make a name for yourself and you could do well because everyone else is garbage.
Yeah,
So
I guess that's one
that's
way of looking at it. I,
Brian's like, I
I,
got this. Fine.
I would personally, okay, maybe it's more of like a tattooing thing because I would personally, as a tattoo artist, I got really frustrated. And one of the leading reasons that I quit is because I lived in Pennsylvania and there is no certification here. So
mhm.
a lot of the
Yeah,
suppliers
it's a
for
body art
piercing,
establishment certification.
yeah, the the websites and the suppliers that I was buying off of were slowly starting to say, well, you have to have some kind of certification to buy from our site. Over and
Uh,
over and
what they
over.
what they want is they want your body art establishment license. They want like an EIN or a tax ID. They want to make sure that if you're doing this, that you're a business.
Yep, and I was not like I had learned from a professional, but I had cut ties with her completely, and from there on, I just had a constant hard time. So, and then her name was so bad that going to any like respectable or professional shop in the area, it was like, oh, and who taught you how to tattoo? And I'm like, I'll see myself out. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. But yeah, like it was frustrating for me in that regard. And another regard is like all these idiots who would be like, "Oh, well, yeah, I tattoo, da 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 da," and it's like, "No, no, you fucking don't. Stop, stop, just stop, just."
Scratchers are the worst.
Ooh. This
I
shit's
got my first
permanent, guys.
I got my first tattoos from a scratcher for free. It was bad. I got one of them covered up. I need to get the
The
other one
old
covered
kitchen magician.
up. It's real bad. It's not good. At least they're small and on my ankle. I wasn't like stupid enough to get like a whole back piece.
Oh, you mean like my leg?
Oh, your leg's fine. Your leg can be fixed.
Yeah, with some like very heavy tattooing and skin removal, I'll be fine.
Oh gosh.
You'd be all right.
It's
You'd be fine.
Just trying to
It's fine. It's fine.
stand it
It's all
up.
okay. Yeah,
Which
it's
is
all
like
right.
the process of skin removal terrifies me, but I really want it done. But I'm like,
Just, dude,
I did my
grab
first one on
the-
myself.
how did that work out for you?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, they you know,
Probably.
yeah.
I heard
It was terrible, but I mean, actually, the process of doing that, believe it or not, I felt like it hurts less than getting tattooed. You know, those scalpels are so sharp. You know, and then if you're
Oh,
using the right tool for the right job, there's different different style scalpels for different things that you're doing with the skin. But I thought it hurts less than getting tattooed. But I tell you what, that first time you get in the shower,
oh, sting.
oof, awful.
Spicy.
I felt that.
Yeah, it's spicy for sure. You know.
Ooh. Yeah, I always heard the healing process was the worst part of skin removal.
Yeah, because you got to do for however you want it to heal. You got to do different things to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, do you like bandage it? I'm assuming.
I mean, you can, but you know, if you want it to be like atrophic or sunken, then, you know, you just kind of leave it alone, do its thing. But if you want it to be hypertrophic, which like it sticks out,
Yeah.
you got to aggravate the fuck out of it. So do
Oh,
all
that'd be
kinds of
perfect
nasty
for me
shit to it.
because I just pick at scabs.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was a thing. God.
Yeah, lemon
Smack
juice,
it.
toothbrushes, fucking whatever. Like, yeah, it's awful. It's nasty.
God, welcome to the episode where you get to see all 9 kinds of my pain faces.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
hot.
Did you ever have any experiences with branding, dude?
Sorry, I gotta make sure I don't knock the make sure I don't knock the thing off my carefully constructed tower of things in which my phone is leaning on.
I feel like I'd be more interested in getting branded than getting scarification, just because I feel like it's just like, oh, psst, there you go, you're done.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a really cool way to do that I've seen. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I've seen other people do it. Where you can actually do it with the sun and a crystal ball, and you take like a black Sharpie and you do the image with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the wherever the Sharpie is concentrates the sun's rays. It's kind of like, you know, when you light an ant on fire.
Yep.
It just absorbs into your skin. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
That's why you're not
How do
supposed
Seeing
to.
the stages of that are gross, but yeah, you can do it.
That's
I
why you're
kinda
supposed to keep.
I want to try that. Not gonna lie.
I mean, it's really easy to get a hold of all of those things.
Oh, don't do it yourself. Don't try this at home,
I'm gonna
kids.
give myself a spot on my
Yeah.
foot. I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
It's just like burning an ant, I promise. No, but I know people who do that, so you know, when they come around.
I could do.
I'm totally kidding. Nobody watching this try to do this shit at
No,
home.
I'm joking. Don't do that. Brian,
No, everybody try it. Do it all yourself.
Chat's just gonna fill up with a bunch of like next episode like pictures of people's foot with like a little red dot in the middle.
Hey, Brian said it was okay to do yourself, so
I mean, we all shoved safety pins through our skin, right?
Of course we did.
Yeah.
Of course we
I
did.
mean, I got like
Yeah.
a whole
In
chain
your
of
boarding
dots
chemistry
still.
class, you know, you
I
fucking.
did like 9 of my my first piercings were like 9 of them I did by myself. Well, 2 of them were with a safety pin. Then I got smart and was like, oh, I can buy hollow needles online. I was like 16. Like, this is fine.
I did that
Yeah.
for all the
Oh, the
pussy
internet's
girls
great, isn't it?
who couldn't do it themselves and sit in the bathroom and like fucking.
I
Yeah.
had so
The
much
absolute
pain.
most sanitary place to do it, the
Yeah, I
bathroom.
know. I was a fucking kid. I
I
didn't
Yeah.
have
would
any
like take
brains.
the towels down and like, clean
Listen,
it
if you've
with.
never been pierced in a Dunkin' Donuts bathroom, you're not living.
You're a liar.
You're doing shit wrong.
All right,
Go
Brian.
against your mom and dad.
You want to give me my
Brian, why
first
you gotta go
piercing in 10 years at Dunkin' Donuts next week?
Live from
Apparently,
Dunkin' Donuts.
I've been looking like Bob this whole time.
Two people going into the bathroom at the same time. We're not doing blow.
We're just getting pierced.
We're just doing piercings.
You want one? $5. I'm gonna need about tree fitting.
Yeah.
350. Oh god.
Oh god.
So anyway,
This one time.
So
No,
in other news, someone.
so what's your paper say there? You got more questions or
Oh
what?
no,
What's going on?
no.
What do you got going on there?
I kind of ran through them. I mean, I was gonna ask you what you would consider your the best show you've ever been to or participated in, and that's like the last question I got prepped.
Um, they've
Oh,
all
yeah.
been good. They're all great because there's so much shit that happens that you can't plan for and it's unexpected. And every time we get together with your suspension friends, you're like, "Remember that time we did that stupid shit?" You're like, "Yeah, we remember." This unexpected thing happened, or yeah, it's been fun.
All right. So yeah, we're going on right around an hour, so I'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. But before we do, I wanted to and I know we kind of touched on it on and off, and by listening, there's a lot of information in this episode for people that would maybe be trying to get into the body mod industry, whether it's tattooing or piercing or the more extreme body modifications. What advice would you give people for trying to get involved professionally, like as a artist or piercer or et cetera, et cetera?
What advice do I give people who want to like break into the industry?
Yeah.
Do it.
If you want it bad enough, you'll figure it the fuck out. I mean, that's really like, hey, you're gonna get no. Everyone's gonna tell you no, but if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. You'll get in. You'll
Mhm.
figure out a way.
Keep
Something
showing
that's
up
really great
every
about
day with
That's
confidence.
yeah, that's sound advice, right? Yeah.
Something that's really great about where we live is that even though it's a small city, there's so many like tattoo artists and shops and like opportunities to be able to like or just like get like your toes in the water or just even like get any direction from someone. I know like half my friends are tattoo artists. Like it's really awesome. I'm really impressed by the work that comes out of Lancaster.
Yeah, I mean, Lancaster's already pretty art driven.
Yeah.
It's a great city. I love it here, but there are a lot of tattoo shops here.
There
There
are
are.
15 tattoo shops in Lancaster City alone, and that's not including the
Yeah.
town.
Really? There's that many?
Yep.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And I know
And there's like
most of them.
3 or 4 very well-known artists like god damn it. I can't think of their
So out of
names,
15
but
shops, there's 3 or 4 guys that are good?
well, Transcending Flesh is like nationally infamous. Even
And
though I
Dreams
think some of
Collide.
their artists are assholes to customers. And
Dreams
Well,
Dreams
that's the
Dreams Collide is also nationally well known. And I know there's two other artists, but I'm not sure what.
Also, Adam Lenhart at Golden Ages is like really phenomenal traditional, neo-traditional tattoo artist. He's really good.
Oh, is he?
He's wrong.
Okay. All right.
I got tattooed by another guy that works at Golden Ages, Joe Martin. He's awesome. He does a lot of the work that he has on his Instagram is like really extremely detailed ink drawings, and that he translates that over into tattooing, and it's like he has such a light hand, and he's so like delicate with his line work. He tattooed my like under like I guess my under boob area.
Oh, he gave you a titty chandelier.
Yeah. No, but it's
Oh
no,
wow!
Titty chandelier.
no, it's
That's a titty chandelier. Yeah, that's good.
It's not a chandelier.
It's a titty chandelier. That's exactly what that is. Tell me it's not.
No, but it's the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Crest.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not a chandelier.
Yeah.
It's more bird.
And
I hate your bird.
That's TIDDY, by the way. Titty chandelier, not titty. Tiddy.
TIDDIES.
Yes.
Titties.
Yes.
it's like the level up of the recent generation from tramp stamp is now the under titty tattoos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, also like you know how those guys used to get like the tribal armbands or like the barbed wire tribal armbands. Now they're getting like the silhouette of the forest on their forearm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
All that.
I know at least 3 guys that have that tattoo.
So someone in chat thought Brian was bald.
Yeah, dude, I'm losing my hair. Fuck. Look at this shit.
You got a very large forehead there, sir.
Yeah, it's getting there. Over the years, it started here and it recessed all the way back to here. It's I'm getting old.
It happens to us all eventually. But
Uh-oh, we lost her. Did we lose her?
we did lose her. Well, I think that's a pretty good spot to probably. Where did she go? I think she crashed. All right. Well, let's call it a wrap here then. I'm sure if Moone's phone hadn't crashed Discord, she would also say goodbye to our viewers. Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to talk with us today and hang out.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man.
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Fuck yeah. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, man.
But also, best tattoo shop, Baker Street Tattoo, Media, Pennsylvania.
I will drop a link in the for you. But all right.
That's where I work at.
No,
Come get piercings.
I think it was pretty obvious, hopefully, that was a shop. But all right, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Brian, for coming on. I hope everybody has a great rest of the night. I'll see you rest of you losers on the internet somewhere.
You sure you guys don't want to watch me drink whiskey for 3 more hours?
No. Bye, Brian.
Bye.